Hey everyone, today I'd like to show you how to make this simple paper transition in Kdenlive. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, let's say that you have two clips and you want to make a transition between them. First, go to a frame from the second clip that you want to use in your transition and press Shift-R on your keyboard to make a cut. Next, remove the first portion of the clip and move back the remaining part. Go to the beginning of the second clip, right-click on the viewer and select Extract Frame to Project. Then choose a folder where the image will be placed and hit Save. Now you should be able to see the image in your project bin, so drag it onto the second video track like this. Okay, so the transition is basically made of 3 images and you want each one to last a few frames. The exact number may vary depending on the frame rate of your project, but in this tutorial we're going to make each clip 4 frames long. So make sure you're at the beginning of the image clip and then move 4 frames forward, make a cut, move another 4 frames, make a cut, and one more time, go 4 frames to the right and cut out the rest of the clip. Then hold Shift, select all 3 stills and move them back like this, so that the end of the last image aligns with the beginning of the second clip. Next, select the last still frame, go to the effects window, search for the rotoscoping effect and apply it to the selected clip. Now you need to go to the viewer and mask out your subject by clicking the left mouse button to add points. The shape doesn't have to be perfect, after all you're making a paper effect, so don't worry about it too much. Once you're done tracing the subject, click the right mouse button to close the mask. Sometimes you may notice that the mask is a bit off, I think it might be some kind of bug. So what you can do is simply grab this red cross in the center and adjust its position. Finally, go to the effect stack and set the values of feather width and feathering passes to 2. Alright, now make sure to select the third still, hit Ctrl+C on your keyboard to copy the mask, then right-click on the second still and select Paste Effects. We're going to use this feature a few more times, so I recommend you to assign it a custom keyboard shortcut if you want to speed up your workflow. Anyway, select the second still and remove some of the upper mask points by double-clicking on them. You basically want to adjust the mask so that it looks like you cut out the upper part of the image. If you want, you can also add new points by simply double-clicking on the line. And now we're going to repeat the entire process one more time. So with the second still selected, press Ctrl+C to copy the mask and then paste the effects to the first image clip. Next, select this clip and adjust the mask by removing some of the upper points and adding new ones if necessary. So far the transition looks like this, which honestly does most of the job for this effect. You can see that the last still frame in my transition has a part of the background from the second clip, so I'm going to quickly remove it by adding another mask and setting the alpha operation to subtract. You probably don't need to do this, but I mentioned it just in case your subject can be masked with a single shape. I think now the entire transition looks much cleaner. Alright, now we're going to add a paper texture over the subject. First we need to get an image of crumpled paper, so let's just quickly open the browser and type something like folded dark paper texture into the search box. Now you can pick whichever one you like the most and download it. Once you're done, go back to Kdenlive and import the image to your project. Then right-click on Video Track 2, select Insert Track and hit OK. Next, grab the paper texture from the project bin, drag it onto Video Track 3 and make sure that it's aligned with the 3 image clips below. Finally, cut the paper clip into 3 shorter clips so that each one has the same length as the still frames on the second video track. Okay, now we're going to copy the mask from each clip on Video Track 2 and paste it to the corresponding paper texture clip. So click on the first clip with the masked subject, press Ctrl+C, then right-click on the clip above and select Paste Effects. Then repeat this process 2 more times for the remaining clips. Now you should have something that looks like this, which is cool, you know, but we're going to add some motion to make it more interesting. Hold Shift and select all the clips on Video Track 3. Go to the effects window, search for Transform and drag the effect onto your clips. Go to the beginning of the first clip, select it and click on this button right here to move the transform effect up so that it's applied before the rotoscoping effect. And now we can adjust the position, scale and rotation of the texture to your liking. Repeat these steps for the remaining 2 clips and always make sure to put your playhead at the beginning of each clip. Once you're done, you should have something that looks like this, which makes the entire transition more dynamic. Alright, now navigate to the compositions window, grab composite and transform, and apply it to your masked clips. Also, don't forget to trim the effect to the length of your clips. Next, click on the effect, go to the effect stack, and change the compositing mode to screen. And as you can see, now we get this cool paper texture over the subject. If you want to further adjust this texture, you can select all the clips on Video Track 2, apply the contrast effect, and tweak its value to change the overall look. Okay, so now we're going to add paper edges around the subject. First, right-click on Video Track 1, select Insert Track and hit OK. Then go to your project bin, click on this icon right here and select Add Color Clip. Make sure that the color is white and click OK. Grab the color clip, drag it onto the new empty video track and trim it down to the length of the clips above. Next, cut the clip into 3 shorter clips like we did before. Once again, we're going to copy the mask from the clips above and paste it to the corresponding color clips. So select the first still frame, hit Ctrl+C, then right-click on the color clip below and select Paste Effects. Then repeat this process for the remaining 2 clips. Next, hold Shift and select all the color clips, then navigate to the effects window, search for the transform effect and apply it to the selected clips. Go to the effects stack and make sure that this button right here is activated. It basically allows you to adjust the same effect for multiple clips at once. Then slightly increase the scale value and adjust the position as needed. Once you're done, go to the effects window, search for distort and apply this effect to the color clips. Now you can tweak the values of amplitude and frequency to roughen the edges to your liking. Finally, we're just going to add one more effect, which is drop shadow. Drag it onto your clips, change the color to black, set the values of X and Y offset to something like 4, and increase the blur radius, and we're done. Here you can see the final result. If you want, you can add some paper crumbling sound to make it even better, but that's basically it when it comes to the visual part. So, thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.